This is the story of the most haunted doll in the world. In 2025, Labubu dolls exploded online. They were cute, collectible, made from Korean plastic, shipped straight to your door. And unlike other dolls that are creepy and cursed, these seemed like they would be safe. And if you know anything about Romanian culture, you know they take their superstitions seriously. The first thing she thought of was a strigoi. That's a malevolent spirit in Romanian folklore that can possess people, animals, and objects. Better safe than sorry, right? Wrong. One morning, she wakes up to hear her cat screaming at the foot of her bed. She runs to the bathroom, looks out the window, and sees the doll sitting on the windowsill. How did it get there? This is a cat that refuses to jump on furniture, let alone open windows. The girl panics. She opens the window and brings the doll inside. Something isn't right here. Something's seriously wrong. She needs help. Some people said it was just a doll. It couldn't have been that powerful. Come on. But this girl knows what she heard, and she knows what she saw. The scariest part is she's not the only one. In the countryside, villagers would stick a cross on their front door to keep them away. The one thing they all have in common is that we never know what happened next. And you won't believe me. We hear a crash, and then the camera stops rolling. We see the doll move, and then the person filming runs away. These stories feel incomplete. Like we're being toyed with. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the dolls want us to know they're alive, that they're watching us. Maybe they want us to fear them. Or maybe they just want to be our friends. After all, dolls are supposed to be our friends, right? Until one day, they decide to turn against us. She thinks everything paranormal is fake, a hoax, a lie. So she comes over to debunk the myth, to prove that the doll is innocent. While she's examining the doll, the girl puts it on the couch. Just for a moment, she goes to the kitchen to pour herself a glass of water, when suddenly she hears a crash. She runs back to the living room to see her friend lying on the floor and the doll hanging from the curtains. Her friend helps her take the doll down. And that's when they notice the smile has turned upside down. It looks like the doll aged 10 years, and that's when the girl's friend admits there could be something going on here. She doesn't want to stick around and find out. She leaves as fast as she arrived. The girl didn't live in the countryside. She lived in a concrete building in Bucharest. They bless the apartment and perform an exorcism of sorts. She gets up, turns on the light, scans the room, finds nothing. She goes back to bed, tries to fall asleep, but the voice keeps getting louder. Eventually she gives up, turns on her security camera, and goes back to sleep. The footage is shaky because it's set on night mode, but during the recording, we see the doll falling off the shelf. Just as the screen flashes, we also hear a loud crash. Then nothing. The doll is on the floor, and she's alone in the room. They read scripture. They sprinkle holy water. They make the sign of the cross. And it seems to work. For a while, the doll sits quietly on the shelf. She thinks she's won, that the evil is gone. But she's wrong. Still, the legends say that strigoi are everywhere. Especially in houses with bad energy. Maybe her apartment had a bad energy. She tried to ignore it, but the strange events kept escalating. A girl from Romania saw the trend on TikTok and decided to get one. She joined an online resale group and bought one for $40. It was a good deal. She took the doll home, placed it on a shelf in her bedroom, and forgot about it until the following morning. When she woke up, she noticed something odd. The doll had scooted closer to the edge of the shelf. Not a big deal, just a little weird. She thought maybe her cat knocked it over. But cats don't knock things over unless they have a reason to. This wasn't a new cat, mind you. When she examined it, she realized the scratches matched the eyes of the doll. Now, dolls don't leave scratch marks unless they're possessed. Dolls aren't supposed to leave the house unless they're possessed. The doll had somehow gotten off the shelf and scratched the wall by itself. There was no logical explanation for this. So she decided to sell the doll again. The problem was, nobody wanted it. She listed it online for half of what she paid, but nobody responded. The doll sat there mocking her. She didn't know what to do. This was a cat that had been with her since he was a kitten. He knew what was dangerous and what was not worth his time. Plus, he would never dare defy her by climbing on the shelf. That was a rule in their apartment. So who moved the doll? And how do you explain that away? I've already told you that this story takes place in Romania. The day after she noticed the doll move, she came home from work to find scratch marks on her bedroom wall. A couple days go by, and she decides to bring the doll back into her life. Only this time, she places it on the floor instead of the shelf. She calls her friend, tells her about the doll, but her friend doesn't believe her. You see, her friend is a hardcore skeptic. The girl's parents try to help, too. One night she wakes up to what sounds like a lullaby. It's soft. It's high-pitched, and it's coming from her bedroom. Did she imagine the rest? Well, we might never know. She got rid of the doll shortly after, but she still can't sleep in her bedroom. There are thousands of stories about cursed dolls. There are hundreds of videos of dolls moving on their own. Now watch this video. I bet you haven't seen it before. Or check out this video. You've never seen this before.